what happened is they overspent. They completely mismanaged. They got COVID funds and they went wild. They hired 500 people between 2022 and 2024 is one of the things I've read. They withheld taxes from people's payroll and they didn't send it in to the IRS. They owe the IRS $9 million is what I'm being told. They
I haven't heard that one. Wow.
They gave $75 million out in bonuses. And so it's just a colossal mismanagement is what's going on here. And so what I want to know is, why aren't there people inside? And there are some I should back up and say there are some people on the inside that are starting to talk. But, you know, when they cut checks to vendors but don't send them out, but then when they call in, they're telling them, oh, yeah, your check was cut. It's this number, so on and so forth. Who was telling them to cut checks and not send them? Who was telling them withhold income tax and not send it out? Why was nobody speaking up? I want to know who they are. And so right now on your show, I'm telling folks, we need whistleblowers to come forward. We've had a couple already, but my office number is 919-733-5787. And we'd like to hear from you. I'll be glad to meet with you and talk to you, but this is a mess. And just throwing $50 million at it from the state, what does that fix? I mean, are we just going to go through, I mean, is it thinking we need another 50 million next year? And so there's not a big appetite for anybody, as far as I know, in our delegation to run in and fix this for them. And number two, I don't know that it's necessarily a responsibility. They've lost a ton of students. About 3,000 students, I think is what I heard, have gone away from the school system as they have pushed policies that parents don't want. And we held them harmless. We didn't reduce their funding because of that. In fact, since 2013, spending on education across the state has gone up 61%. It far exceeds the cost of inflation. And at the same time, test scores have gone down. And so I think there's a whole lot here besides just the budgetary problems, but to blame it on the state is absolutely ridiculous. The problem they had is they were flush with money. They had more money than they really kind of knew what to do with the COVID money and everything else that came in, and they just spent wildly. And I don't know who approved all of those budget overruns. I find it hard to believe that a CFO would approve that. But we need to, the CFO needs to have some questions asked to him. And so does Superintendent McManus has some responsibility. Back in May, Robert Barr and Susan Miller, both in the meeting, called for her termination, and the board jumped to her defense. And instead of asking hard questions here, they blessed her with retirement. And so we're getting phone calls about that all the time. There is, as Ricky Ricardo used to say, there's some splaining that needs to be done.